Hello everyone and welcome to the first proper episode of the series 4 of Laurence Plays Factorio Space Exploration. And to start this series off, I've come back to Norvis. Yes, I'm actually down here again. And the reason I've come down here was for the inaugural test flight of my spaceship here. So I've actually built up I built the spaceship a little bit more since I got down here, but the original design had one engine on the back, two of these fuel tanks, and the computer in the middle. And so I've learned a bit about these things while I've been messing around with this. One of them is that you can't fly into them; you always get grounded because yeah, the ceiling's too low to fly around inside a spaceship, so it just won't let you. But so what I've got here now is I've got a couple of laser cannons at the front, well, laser turrets, but I'm going to call them laser cannons because they're on a spaceship, and those are to allow you to shoot down any asteroids that you're flying towards. Just because when you're flying through space, there's space debris and stuff that you need to worry about. And so to power those and everything else in here, we've got this fluid isothermic generator, and that just keeps chugging away. It uses the rocket fuel as to power it, and it powers the spaceship's electronics. Now, I would quite like to have some. I need to think a little bit about this and have some way of hooking up to a base power supply when I'm down here. If I just link it straight up now, then it'll run off. Then it runs the base off the generator like this. Notice how that's now flashing much quicker. And that's not what I want. I don't want to run the base off the rocket ship. I want to run the rocket ship off the base. So I haven't done that yet, but it should be fairly easy. I'll just put in a switch on this power cable to tell it what to do. So when I flew down, as I mentioned, I only had I had the one engine and I had two of these tanks, and it took nearly all the fuel in the tanks and took well, I'm not going to say a long time to get here, but it took a minute or so, or minute or two, to get down here. And I'm thinking that if it takes that long to get out of orbit, then it's going to take a very, very long time to get to any of the other actual real planets. So I've put a couple more engines on here, and at some point I'm going to have a test flight and see how long it takes, but I'm a little bit concerned that it might not actually get there. So building rockets is interesting. You've got a couple of integrity checks that you need to worry about here. So there's hull stress, which is based on the size of the ship. So if I make the ship 3 times as big, then this number will probably go over the top of over the maximum, and it won't be able to fly. And the container stress is based on how much storage you have in the ship. So at the moment I've got these 10 chests. They don't have anything in, but there's some chests in there anyway. And that's given me a container stress of about almost 80% of what I can manage. And if you fiddle with any of this, like put another row of these chests, I then have to push this button, and it flashes a light across the ship like that, and then goes, nope, that's too much. So I can't have those, but I can have 2 of them. So yeah, you can balance it based on that. We also see how much energy it's going to cost to launch the craft from where it is at the moment. I feel these numbers are probably the wrong way round, but essentially it's going to use more than half of the fuel to get me off this planet, because I'm on a planet and it takes a fair amount of energy to blast off, which is, I mean, to be fair, that's realistic. If you look at a rocket, take the sort of the Saturn V or the Falcon 9, they've got a massive booster on the bottom that's just there to punt the very top part up into space, and then the second stage is basically to get it into orbit. So you've got most of the air fuel in there is required just to get you off the ground, so that's fair enough. And streamlining, well, I've made a sort of a nice rockety shaped ship. Well, it was a nice symmetrical rocket shaped ship, and then I added some extra bits on the inside of it and had to make it a bit of a funny shape, but it's still streamlined enough, so that's fine. Okay, so we know a little bit about the gravity well I'm in here, and I can set destinations. So I can say I want to go to Henkiseswi, and when you fly to another planet or fly to a place, you'll get there, and then you can tell it where you want it to land. So unlike some of the other things, like the the delivery cannons, I don't need to define exactly where it's going to go first. I can do that once I get there. But the fact that it's saying travel time unknown, this might be because if I fly back up into space, then maybe I can test my maximum speed on the way up there, and then it'll give me a travel time. I don't know. It's a little bit of a mystery at the moment. But so that's something. But it's something that was interesting to play with. I need to do a lot more work with these ships before I do that. And so yes, I came down to Norvis on this test flight, and because there were a few things I wanted to do down here as well. There's been a bit of a shortage of some of hydrocarbons or carbon things in general down here. So if we look over here at the oil processing area, I've now got enough coal, but I'm a bit short of oil, and I noticed there's approximately none at this end, and there's approximately lots at this end. So I think I need to put in some extra pumps along here, just to make sure that we're emptying the tanks a bit more evenly, because at the moment it's all coming from this end and it's not flowing along the tanks quickly enough to keep up with it. And that, I believe, is why there's not very much plastic coming out of here. These are supposed to be able to produce about a blue belt each. And that is actually a problem at the moment. How are we doing? Yeah, we've only got 4,000 plastic, so there's a major plastic shortage, and I believe that's almost entirely down to this big shortage of oil, or ineffective oil systeming that's going on here. Although it looks like we are also short of oil inputs. And so one of the things I did fairly recently was set up some extra mines for the carbon-based thing. So I've got a new coal mine over here, pretty much standard design. It's nighttime at the moment. These solar panels aren't good enough, and I didn't bring any of the good ones with me because I didn't think of it. So these are the mines. The accumulators don't really charge up, but then during the day it doesn't. But it doesn't really matter, because during the day the mines will run, and then during the night they won't. So that's sort of okay. My only concern really is what happens if a train turns up during the night. But I think they're set to sit there for long enough that shouldn't be a problem. I've also set up another coal mine down here. So here we go. It'll merrily load up the train when it turns up. And I set up. I think this is a new oil. No, that oil mine might have already been there. I did set up a new oil mine. Oh, here we go. This one. So this is getting filled up at the moment. There we go. It's full. So that train is now presumably. Well, it might be going to take it down here to be used as rocket fuel, or it might be going to take it down to be used for plastic. I'm not quite sure. So I suppose that's probably part of the reason that I'm having some issues with the oil supply, because it's being used in two places now. So maybe that's part of the reason. So yes, that's my spaceship. One of the other things I did, a minor improvement, was I came along. I didn't even complete. I only half did the minor improvement, so it really is a minor improvement. So down here we've got iron ore being turned into steel, and originally I had it set up like these ones. So as you can see, the iron making machines these furnaces just basically aren't really running very much, and these ones are running flat out. Because they're all full of the productivity modules, they run slowly. But then these ones in the middle are sped up by these beacons. These ones out here aren't, because the beacons don't have the range for that. So I fixed it for these ones by coming down and putting in these beacons, and so this beacon covers those three, this beacon covers those three, and at the end they're just not beaconed at all anyway, so I don't care. And that more or less balances it. The iron furnaces still aren't running quite 100% of the time, but it's much closer, and it has significantly improved the output. So instead of this running at 0.8, it's now running at 4.8. So that's what 6 times faster, 6 times this previous speed. So that's much better, and has got rid of a lot of the problems. It also cuts down on the amount of power they use. There's a couple of efficiency modules in there as well, I think. Power consumption 3.2 megawatts versus 2.5. Okay, so no, the speed modules have put it up, but so it's not actually necessarily faster. I could put an extra efficiency module in each of these instead of the speed modules, and that would slow these down slightly and make them use less power. That might be vaguely worth doing, because then it'll just keep things a bit more balanced. But so I did that along here, and then forgot that there was another row of them along here, so I need to fix that up as well. So I made a list of things I need to talk about, because otherwise I know with the sort of the going around and tinkering with things approach that I've been doing at the moment, where there hasn't been a sort of a single major push like doing one of the big sciences. It's just been going around and sort of fiddling with things and looking for problems and then trying to fix them. So yeah, that's the spaceship I've talked about, the steel beaconing I've talked about. Coal mines and more oil largely for plastic, but for other places where it's needed as well. I've now touched on a little bit. And finding the coal mines, I thought I was really short of coal patches, but then I found a few over here. They're a little bit tricky to spot in the dark, because they're black on dark grey colours, so I managed to miss them. But I think I've got enough coal mines for now, given that Well, it is actually still running, but let's have a look. There's 46,000 in there, so that's 2 trains worth. So this is playing catch up still. It's loading up the chests, but it is doing it faster than it's getting taken away. So I'm pretty happy with that. The plastic, well, now that oil train has come in, no, it's just flooded straight back out again. The plastic is still a concern. I think I need to come in here and sort this out with pumps. The other thing I've been fiddling with, so there was some talk of this in previous no, that's Norvis. I want Norvis Orbit. There's some talk of this in previous episodes. Where is my camera? There's my camera. Right, was there was all of the problems up here with the card production that just wasn't producing them fast enough because it kept running out of the input ingredients. So what I've done is I have finally done what I was talking about and put in some extra landing pads here to summon the card substrates, the red circuits, and the copper. Now, the card substrates I've just moved completely from over here. So this facility here is now no longer in use. I've renamed the landing pad to something else, so it doesn't summon rockets. I'll deprogram these. I won't actually deprogram these because I'm in map mode. So the rockets are coming in here. These 2 products are still being brought in down here because I didn't want to just belt them up. I thought it's better to do it this way. And so that means I don't have any more stuff flowing in, but I do have an essentially uninterruptible supply of it coming in. So I'm not going to run out of any of these. They're going to just keep flowing and flowing because I don't have to worry about trains coming out to fill them up. Now admittedly there is the slight potential issue when these run out because I didn't bother putting in warehouses, but that happened with one of them. I forget which one it was. I think it might have been this one while I was watching, and it caught up so quickly that I think by the time the gap had made it down here, it had already sort of filled it up again. And it was only on one side that it had made this far along anyway. So that seems to be running absolutely fine. And what you might notice is that now we seem to have these chests are all absolutely completely full. We've got 7.2 thousand, which isn't a huge number, but that is three full chests of 48 stacks each, which is more than 3 trains worth. And presumably that therefore means that all of these have got memory cards in. Yep, that one has. That one has. This one has. And this one has. So it is now actually a solved problem. We've got any further shortages in my supplies of things that are being made down here, like these. It means it's due to something else. So this isn't run. Huh? Oh, right. This has stopped because this thermofluid line has filled up. Okay, that's a pain. So what's happened here is that when you use thermofluid, the supercomputer takes in chilled thermofluid at minus 100, uses it to keep the computer cool while it's running, and then dumps it out into this pipe when it's finished with it and it's warmed it up again. This pipe is full, so there's nowhere to dump the thermofluid, so this eventually backs up and can't push any more out. Now, what's supposed to happen is all the way up here at the top, there's supposed to be there is supposed to be some tanks in around here that just makes some sort of buffering system that just makes sure we don't get into the state we're in at the moment. So that's a bit unfortunate. I think I could probably temporarily fix it by dumping all the thermofluid out of this tank, but that seems like a massive waste of thermofluid. I'll have to have a think about that because I may need to come up. I mean, I need another tank there basically. And then if there's another tank there, and we link these together, then it'll only summon a train when there's less than 25,000, when whatever the rules are. When there's, so basically there needs to be more tanks, so there's a bit of so there's enough capacity above the top of the amount, in the top of the tanks, for more thermofluid to be dumped into it. And that's, yes, that's slightly problematic. I'll have to see if I can fix that from elsewhere, because that's potentially a problem. This one is absolutely full. Down here, how are we doing? Scrap. That's full. That's full. Good. And over here, those are both full. That's not full. Why you? What? Okay, these are running. It's just we're not making snowflake data fast enough, and that comes from here. These ones, and that's because we're not making some sort of gravitational thing fast enough, and that's coming from up here. You see this is the sort of the way that science tends to go in this game. You go, okay, why is that not working? It's because of this, because of that, because of the other. If we look up here, it's these ones, and they're limited by. They appear to just be limited by the number of them there are that we have. So actually, if I want to fix this, I just need to put more of these machines in across here and expand this out a bit, because apparently it's just not being made fast enough. So that's nice. Or I could put speed modules in them. That's the other way to do it. How much power have we got? I've got plenty of power around here. Or even better, I could come along. I could put in one of my wide area beacons. In where are they? It's in here some. I'd actually. Is it a logistic? No, surely it's a production thing. Or oh, I don't know. Let's just search for it. Beacons. Yeah, they're in production. Okay. So I could put in one of these wide area beacons. Slap it in about here. And then I could use that to make all of these machines run more quickly and more efficiently. So they'd use less power, and they'd run faster as well, because there's so many slots in those things. Oh, here it is. 15. You can fit 15 modules into these things. So and they have quite a big area of effect as well. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I'll come here. In fact, I'll do both. I'll come up here, slap one of those beacons in here, speed all of this stuff up, and put some more of these machines in, sticking further out as well. So everything just runs everything runs much faster and more, and just generally better. I might even put some speed modules straight in these machines at least as well, to make it go even faster. So that's mostly running fine. And then up here, how's this one doing? I've checked the final one as well. Yep, that's backed up, and this one's still not quite there, and this is only running at 50% effectivity because we're short of football data again by the looks of it. And there is only one machine producing that, so to be honest, I'm not too surprised that we're short of it. However, all of these things are minor throughput issues that I know how to fix. I know what I'm going to do. I know how to do things. I've now solved the major issue here that was causing a massive problem with it. And okay, something's just come and picked up some more cards, and now the machine's running again. But there's still 4.3 thousand in here. We've still got these relatively full. So yeah, the system seems to be working and seems to be keeping up. Likewise down here with the scrap, it's empty. It's okay, it's running over here a bit, but basically we've got through it all. There's scrap in all these trains, but I'm just storing it here for the time being, which is a bit silly, but as I said in the previous episode, it's a way to make this sort of thing work nicely. So that's where I've got to now. Plans for the future. Well, the spaceship is an exciting thing. I want to know how fast it is, how long it takes to get some places. So I think I'm probably going to, because I can't really test this without actually launching it. So what I'm probably going to do, launch it, fly back to the space station, and then refuel it while I'm up there. And refueling is done by landing somewhere where there's a pipe nearby like this, so you can just run the fuel in, which actually works quite well. So I can do that to get it refueled, and then I'll run off and fly to Henkes Eswi or something like that, somewhere that's reasonably close, and just see how well it does, whether it can actually make it. And I think in-orbit refueling may well be the way forwards for this sort of thing, but we shall see. I have noticed there are some extra engine researches, and this one I can actually. What is this? This is a Spaceship ion engine. So it uses a small amount of ion stream but lots of power. So if I can come up with a better way of producing power on a spaceship, then this is basically like using an ion drive in real life. You use small amounts of propellant but large amounts of electricity. So you get, with a real one, you get tiny amounts of thrust, but incredibly efficiently for the amount of propellant you use up, because you launch the molecules out of the back of the engine at extremely high velocities. So this potentially sounds interesting, but I'm going to need a better way of producing power on a spaceship before I can use this. So it uses up to 10 megawatts. So that's quite a lot. I don't know how I'm going to be able to use these, but it's an interesting idea. I would like to try using them. Whereas these ones they don't use any power. They use fuel, and it uses 103 kilowatts, so it uses a little bit of power, but not very much. I was sort of hoping there'd be some thrust values on these, so I'd get an idea of how fast these are, how powerful these are compared to the ion ones. But I guess not. I'll just have to experiment a bit. So yeah, first part of the experimentation is finding out what I can do with this spaceship. The other thing I want to do, and I'm going, is to head out to. It's time to go to Ganymede again. Yeah, and I know I've grumbled about this a lot because it's so far away, but I need to go out here. There are so many things that need to be done. So if we have a look around, I'll go into map mode so we can actually see properly. I need more vulcanite mines because at the moment down here we've got 4 fairly full yellow belts being produced of vulcanite. So that at this end, and then at the other end we're trying to pull. Where is it? Here it is. 2 blue belts worth of vulcanite out, and so it just can't keep up. See, it's empty already. So yeah, this is basically twice as fast as it's being produced. So I need to build at least another one of these mines, probably another 3 or 4 of them. And conveniently, there's a 12 million there, there's 17 million there, there's 10 million there, there's a mere 6 million there. I might not bother with that one. Some of the patches. Oh, there's another 19 million there. So yeah, 60 million there. So what I'm planning to do is come back out to Ganymede with a rocket that's got loads of mining drills, a load of rail because I'm going to need to expand that out as well, some of the other stuff that I'm going to need for that sort of thing. I need to put in another nuclear power plant as well, so I'll bring all that stuff out. I need to fix this one, so I need to bring up another turbine to put in here. I need to expand the meteorite defense so that doesn't happen again because there's no power down here for these railguns to protect the planet, so that needs to be done. But I think this machine here, this setup, I think the throughput is probably going to be sufficient if it's all running all the time. So I don't think I need to build this up anymore. There's something moaning about. Apparently there's something down. Oh, I need to replace a pylon over here as well. Stop that moaning. And I want to improve the way the fuel is being produced. At the moment, I thought, well, I'm producing essentially unlimited quantities of vulcanite on this planet. Well, that's not true, for one thing. I'm not producing enough vulcanite, but I need to produce it faster than that. But I thought I was producing it fast enough that just turning a load of it into fuel would be absolutely fine. But that's turned out to not really be the case. It's not producing fuel fast enough, and it's taking quite a big chunk out of the vulcanite in order to do so, in order to not do so, which is even worse. So I'm going to try and switch this over to using oil. So I've got an oil station here already. So that should that should work in that it'll bring the oil. The oil will be brought over to my oil station here, dropped off and processed, and hopefully there's enough coming through here that we'll be able to make it into sufficient quantities of rocket fuel. We shall have to see about that though, see how it goes. I may need to set up some additional oil mines. There's a small one here, 450%. There's a bigger one over here, 900%. 1100%, yeah. So again, I'm going to need lots of rail for this and to do a bit of exploring. And then there's another thing, a secret thing that I want to do while I'm out here. So people on chat have been, I'm not going to say harassing me about this, but it's been suggested a few times, and I've never been in the right place at the right time. But I gather there's some secret plot points in this that take you to sort of special finishing positions and extra plot stuff and interesting stuff that I'd quite like to investigate. And all I really know about it is it's something to do with exploring these pyramids that crop up on some of the planets. So there's one here on Ganymede, there's one on Myokin, but I don't really have any wish to go there at the moment. So I think one of the things I'm going to do is get myself sort of tooled up a bit, because I don't know what's going to be in there. I want to be reasonably protected. I want to have decent weaponry, have shields and things, and so on. And then I can come along, and while I'm up here, I'll have a look around inside this and see what I see. And at the moment, I have a Tesla gun, which is empty. I have a machine gun and a rocket launcher. So I'll probably get some more explosive rockets before I go. I've got a decent amount of uranium ammunition, but I might grab some more of that anyway. And I'll try and make some Tesla ammunition. And I think that just needs holmium, so I can do that. And I'll also put my personal laser defenses back in my thruster suit, so I've got a bit more defensive stuff there. So there's a few things that I need to do before in order to make myself a bit more protected for that sort of thing. But that's something I'm going to think about over the next while. So, As always, thank you for watching. Do come along and join me on stream on a Wednesday evening when I will be investigating this. Although actually, I think the next Wednesday after this video is going to go live. When will this video go live? I think the Wednesday after this video goes live, I will be here, but I won't be around the week after because I'm going to be off on holiday. So, yeah, if you'll see on YouTube or Twitch if I'm going to be doing a stream. And then also there's the Industrial Revolution streams with friends on Mondays. Do come along to those. Again, they're good fun. And there's the GTA videos. We're hopefully going to have a few more people in this week's session, so we might have the videos that up and coming in a few weeks might be even more exciting. But we're still doing lots of fun stuff there. So yeah, please do come along and join in. Okay. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time when hopefully I'll have gone out to Ganymede, unless something unexpected happens before then. I'll see you then.